Welcome to episode number 241, where I'm speaking about Ayurveda's empowering approach to aging and longevity. Ayurveda is the science of longevity and provides guidelines on how to prevent disease, maintain balance, increase longevity, and more importantly, how to have vitality in those extended years. Ayurveda reminds us of the gifts of aging and how to utilize these gifts, empowering us as we age. So please stay tuned. Welcome to the Elements of Ayurveda podcast. I'm your host, Colette, and I hope to educate and empower you to take charge of your health and well-being, preventing disease in the body and mind so that you can thrive in life. I will be sharing the holistic teachings of Ayurveda, which is the ancient healing tradition from India. Now, if you're new to Ayurveda, I recommend listening to the first couple of episodes where I do an introduction to Ayurveda and the mind-body types. And if you like the content, please be sure to subscribe or follow the podcast so the new episodes will automatically download for you. Also, you may want to check out my private Elements community, which is away from social media. It's a safe space for like-minded people to come together, to connect, to share, to support each other, and to continue the conversation from the podcast episodes. Check out the link in the show notes or visit my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com, and just click on the community tab. And I hope to connect with you there. Thanks for listening. And now here's a new episode. Hey there, and welcome back to the Elements of Ayurveda podcast. It's me, Colette, today doing a solo episode. And as you can see from the title, I want to talk about Ayurveda's empowering approach to aging and longevity. And particularly aging is something I'm really passionate about. We're all aging. And we may in fact be living longer today, but we really have a crisis in lifestyle-related chronic diseases like obesity and cancer and diabetes, dementia, depression, and many other chronic diseases caused by our modern lifestyles. Now, while we have made really great advances in terms of science and technology, it's these very advancements in technology, industrial farming, ultra highly processed food, and stress that are really taking a toll on our health and well-being as we age. And our modern society has a negative outlook on aging, particularly in the West, and we tend to glorify youth, and oftentimes our elders are ignored and considered to be of no value to society. Now, I have to say I am hearing more conversations about the importance of reintroducing elders into the workplace, their value from all the wisdom they've collected over their lifetime and so on. So I am hearing conversations about this and the importance of bringing elders in and, not discarding their years of wisdom accumulated, and that young folks need to have humility and understand that they haven't been there and done that. So this knowledge is valuable. But in general, we do glorify youth, and this glorification of youth leads to a battle against aging. We see it all the time. And along with a huge industry of anti-aging potions and products. But this is a battle that we will never win. It's nature. We're going to age, and one which can really lead to feelings of disempowerment and a lack of self-worth as we age. Now, changing this battling against the aging process perspective requires a changing of perception of aging. And an empowered outlook on aging brings with it a sense of responsibility for our own health, a sense of purpose, confidence, and it really promotes a positive mental outlook as we age. Ayurveda is the science of longevity, and it provides guidelines on how to prevent disease, maintain balance, and increase longevity. And more importantly, how to have vitality in those extended years. Ayurveda also reminds us of the gifts of aging and how to utilize these gifts, empowering us as we age. Ayurveda refers to aging as Jara, Jara. I'm spelling it because I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, so excuse me. And this translates to that which has become old by the act of wearing out. It is through the years of wearing out our bodies that we gain experience, knowledge, and wisdom. Old age is considered to be the wisdom stage of life in Ayurveda, and this is something I love promoting and talking about. And this stage of life, according to Ayurveda, is a time to share the accumulated wisdom from the lifetime and the skills with the younger generations. And our elders have a vital role to play in our families and communities. So I want to go into just the types of aging so we understand that a little bit. There's two types of aging, chronological aging and biological or physiological aging. So chronological aging is a person's actual age, how many years, days they've been alive. Therefore, this type of aging obviously cannot be altered. However, individuals who have the same number of years may not actually age the same. Biological or physiological aging refers to assessing the person on how they are and how they function rather than their number of years. Biological aging can be influenced by diet and lifestyle factors. Now, aging is a complex process that results from a combination of environmental, genetic, and epigenetic factors. Ayurveda understood thousands of years ago the importance of a holistic and individualized approach to health that addresses body, mind, emotions, spirit, and environment. Ayurveda gives us detailed guidelines on how to reduce our biological age while boosting our vitality, immunity, and longevity. In modern day language, this translates to the science of epigenetics. So epigenetics describes the dynamic relationship between the environment and gene expression, and it refers to external modifications to the DNA that turn genes on or off. These modifications do not change the DNA sequence, but control gene expression. Epigenetics deals with virtually everything that happens to the expressed genes in the phenotype during the stages of the lifespan. For example, prenatal, postnatal, childhood, lifetime, social experiences, diet, nutrition, exposure to toxins, lifestyle, behavior, stress, environment, and how these impact the expression of the genes. Therefore, epigenetics plays a major role in determining our health and well-being and is an important mechanism of Ayurveda. Ayurveda, as we know, is referred to as the manual for life, as it gives us guidelines for our whole lifespan, from prenatal to elderhood. It's a holistic health system which understands the impact of each and every aspect and experience in our lives on our health and well-being. These detailed guidelines offered by Ayurveda play an important role in determining lifelong health and longevity. So now I'm going to look at the components of aging according to Ayurveda. And they are physical health, mental health, diet, sleep, stress management, and rasayana. So I'm going to break these down, and let's start with physical health. Agni is the Hindu god of fire, and it represents fires in various forms: the sun, sacrificial fire, and the digestive fire in our body. Agni is the protector of humanity and particularly the protector of the home. The energy of Agni is present in every cell of our body, protecting our individual home. Agni digests, it transforms, and metabolizes ahara, basically anything we consume to nourish our body and mind. The intelligence of this fire energy determines what is allowed to enter our body and what gets disposed of as waste. Jathara Agni, our central digestive fire, is responsible for the digestion and assimilation of our food. All the other Agnis in each cell and tissue depend on this central digestive fire for nourishment. Ayurveda teaches us that digestion begins in the mouth, and the food is then transformed by Jathara Agni into Ahara Rasa. Ahara Rasa is considered to be the juice of our digestive food, which contains all 5 elements of nature, or the Panchamahabhutas, which translates to the 5 elements. Once our food is transformed into ahara rasa, it begins a journey where it nourishes all the 7 dhatus of the body. This process of nutrition takes place in stages, and each of the 7 dhatus or tissues has its own agni to process the incoming ahara rasa. It takes the nutrients or elements that it needs from that elemental juice to form the new dhatu, and the rest then moves on to the next dhatu or tissue. And I talked about this nutrition process in detail in episode number 92, Ayurvedic Nutrition of the Dhatus. So I will link to that in the show notes if you're interested in getting further information on that process, which is fascinating. So moving on here in regards to physical health, without the energy of Agni, this fire energy in the body, there is no life, as Agni nourishes the 3 doshas, Vata, which we know is the energy of action, movement, and transportation. It nourishes Pitta, the energy of transformation, conversion, and digestion. And it nourishes Kapha, the energy of construction, lubrication, and nourishment. Agni also nourishes the 7 tissues or dhatus I was just talking about, and they are Rasa, which is the plasma, the lymph, and serum. Rakta is the blood. Mamsa is the muscle tissue. Meda, the fat tissue. Ashti is bone. Maja is bone marrow. And Shukra is reproductive fluid. Agni also is responsible for nourishing the subtle tissues of Ojas, Prana, and Tejas. Ojas is extremely important in the body. It's our immunity, our strength, and vigor. And in fact, it's considered to be the essence of all the dhatus, the finest product of that healthy digestive process I was talking about earlier. So when ahara rasa goes through all the 7 tissues, and each tissue takes the elemental juice that it needs, Ojas is the end product of that nutrition through the dhatus. And as I said, it's said to be the finest product of healthy digestion. It's the prime energy reserve of the body, protecting our life. Ojas is the energy which gives us strength and vitality. It governs the hormonal balance, the autoimmune system, mental intelligence, and controls the life functions with the help of prana. Prana is another subtle dosha that's nourished by Agni, and it's our life force energy and vitality, and it is the root or subtle essence of the Vata dosha. The functions of the mind, memory, thought, and emotions are all under the control of prana. Prana governs the biological functions of Ojas and Tejas. And Tejas, again, the third of the subtle doshas, is our inner radiance, our luster, fearlessness, our intelligence and courage. It's the essence of a very subtle fire that governs metabolism through the enzyme system and is responsible for the further transformation of our food into the subtle tissues. Tejas is necessary for nourishment and transformation of each dhatu. So you can see the responsibility of this fire of Agni in the body is huge for our health and well-being and for our life. An impaired digestive fire results in improper digestion and inadequate nourishment of our cells and tissues. This improper digestion results in toxic waste, which cannot be utilized by the body. This waste product in Ayurveda is called ama. When ama accumulates, it's considered to be the underlying cause of disease in the body and mind. This is why Ayurveda puts such a great emphasis on maintaining the energy of Agni, as our Agni is of paramount importance for our health and well-being. In fact, in Charaka Samhita, Volume 1, it says, strength, health, longevity, and vital breath are dependent upon the power of digestion, including metabolism. And this is why Ayurveda puts such an emphasis on regular cleansing of the body, removing any accumulated ama, and making sure that our digestive fire is working efficiently. And on that note, I want to let you know a lot of people are asking me about my next group digestive reset cleanse. It's starting September 2nd, 2022. And this cleanse comes with a 90-minute online consultation with me so I can tailor the food, the self-care, the pranayama, the yoga videos, and the meditation, etc. to you and your lifestyle. So it doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, because I'm going to tailor it to your location. And as you know, Ayurveda recommends cleansing at the change of seasons to remove any accumulated ama or toxins and accumulated doshas from the previous season so that they don't cause imbalances in the coming season. So check that out. I'll put the link in the show notes. Again, the discounted group cleanse starts September 2nd. If that date doesn't work for you, you can do a private cleanse and choose your own dates. In both cleanses, they both come with a 90-minute consultation. The difference is in the group cleanse, we go through it as a group. We have a group forum. In the private cleanse, you have me one-on-one for support. I also wanted to take a moment to bring a word from our sponsor today, Mount Madonna Institute. Study Ayurveda, Ayurvedic yoga therapy, classical yoga, and Sanskrit in person on a mountaintop campus overlooking Monterey Bay on the central coast of California. A nurturing learning environment where you will be in nature surrounded by redwoods and a like-minded community of peers. Visit mountmadonna.org to discover more and receive $100 off tuition when you register before December 31st, 2022 using the discount code ELEMENTS22. You'll find all the info in the show notes. Okay, so getting back to the conversation, I'm just going through the components of aging according to Ayurveda, and I just covered physical health. And now I want to talk about mental health. Ayurveda teaches us that our digestive health also affects our mental health and vice versa. And modern day scientists are now calling our gastrointestinal tract, or GIT, our second brain. Studies have shown interaction between the microbiome in the gut and the brain via a two-way communication highway called the vagus nerve. The GIT, or gastrointestinal tract, and the brain are communicating through the nervous system, the immune system, and also through our hormones. Now, the bacteria in the GIT produce 95% of the serotonin in our body. This key hormone stabilizes our mood, regulates happiness, stimulates nerve cell growth, and alerts the immune system to germs. It also aids with eating, digesting, and sleeping. The GIT and the brain are in constant contact with each other, thanks to serotonin, with chemical messages going back and forth between the brain and the GIT. Now, this two-way communication also means that the brain can influence the microbiome, and studies have shown that psychological stress suppresses beneficial bacteria, therefore affecting our digestive strength. Ayurveda understood that along with our mental health, one of the most important external factors that influences the composition of the microbiome is the diet. And this is what I want to talk about next, in the next component of aging, the diet. And in Charaka Samhita, Volume 1, it says, the strength and luster of one who knows the suitable diet and regime for every season and practices accordingly are enhanced. So ahara, you heard me mention ahara earlier. It's basically anything that we take into our body, be that breath, food, into our senses. And ahara is one of the three pillars of health according to Ayurveda. What we eat affects the composition of the microbiome and becomes the building blocks of every cell and tissue in our body. Ayurveda gives detailed guidelines on food, on the taste, the qualities, compatibility, therapeutic qualities, etc. It also gives guidelines on how to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, and what to eat for your constitution, season, and stage of life. Now, in regards what to eat, Ayurveda teaches us that each person has an individual blueprint, a unique constitution or mind-body type. Understanding our unique constitution helps us understand the effect of a particular food, taste, quality, etc. on our system. Making informed food choices for our unique constitution help to keep our body, mind in balance, preventing disease. Now, our modern industrial food system has a great impact on our health and longevity. The consumption of highly processed foods and foods grown with the use of chemical fertilizers affects our digestion, our microbiome, and in turn, our cells and tissues. This accumulation of toxins in our body causes premature aging. Research shows that eating a diet of highly processed foods can speed up aging of your cells due to these foods often containing a high amount of trans fat and can promote the chronic inflammation that hastens the breakdown and aging of our cells. Ayurveda not only recommends eating in alignment with our constitution, but also in alignment with nature by eating seasonal foods and choosing foods that are grown locally. Connecting with nature and the circadian rhythms is a cornerstone of Ayurvedic medicine. And if you're not familiar with the circadian rhythms, I covered that in detail way back in episode number 8. Okay, the fourth component of aging is sleep. Sleep is one of the 3 pillars of health according to Ayurveda and is considered as important as our diet in preventing disease and promoting longevity. When our sleep pattern is out of alignment with the circadian rhythm, it can have negative effects on our body and mind, triggering age-associated pathological conditions which can speed up the aging process. Studies show that people who consistently sleep 5 hours or less per night are regarded as a higher risk group for all-cause mortality. Sustained sleep deprivation triggers biological mechanisms contributing to the deterioration of health status. Getting enough sleep at the right time acts as a rejuvenator for the body and mind. Sleep supports the generation of ojas, which supports all bodily functions, enhances the immune system, and gives us strength and vitality. Unfortunately, our modern lifestyle of overworking and our mobile devices, which lead to an always-on culture, tends to pull us away from the natural circadian rhythm of our sleep cycle, resulting in a disconnection from nature. This disconnection from the rhythms of nature results in stress, which has a detrimental effect on our body and mind. And that leads me to the next component of aging, which is stress management. Ayurveda explains stress as a disturbance to the nervous system, which is mainly regulated by the Vata dosha. Vata, as we know, is the energy of action and movement and can be aggravated by too much sensory stimulation, multitasking, excess movement, and mental overwhelm. All of this creates stress in the body and mind, which can accelerate the aging process. A study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that stress can add years to the age of an individual's immune system cells. The study focused on telomeres, which are the caps at the end of each strand of DNA that protect our chromosomes, and they are an essential part of human cells that affect how our cells age. Now, studies show that stress accelerates the erosion of the telomeres, which is associated with advancing chronological age. Stress management is a key component in longevity according to Ayurveda. The Vata dosha is pacified by living a lifestyle that's aligned with the circadian rhythm and bringing the mind into the present moment with mindfulness practices like yoga, meditation, and pranayama. Mindfulness practices increase awareness of the present moment, leading to positive cognitions and a sense of control and acceptance of what is. This results in reduced stress, restored balance, improved sleep, enhancing overall well-being and decreasing oxidative stress, which helps to protect the erosion of the telomeres, which in turn slows down the rate of cellular aging. And so they are the 5 of 6 components of aging according to Ayurveda. So we just covered physical health, mental health, diet, sleep, and stress management. And in the next episode, I'm going to leave it here for today because I know it's a solo episode. It can get long if it's just me talking. So in the next episode, I'm going to cover the topic of Rasayana. And Rasayana is the study of anti-aging, longevity, and rejuvenation in Ayurveda. Ayurveda. The main purpose of Rasayana therapy is to slow down aging, delaying the degenerative process of the body, preventing disease, and promoting health and well-being. And Rasayanas really help to calm the nervous system, the mind. They promote a sattvic outlook on life, bringing awareness, resiliency, confidence, contentment, happiness, and longevity. So I'm going to cover that in the next episode of this discussion on Ayurveda's empowering approach to aging and longevity. But isn't it so interesting to see how Ayurveda understood thousands of years ago the importance of each and every aspect of our health and well-being on our aging, and that now modern science is backing up this information and agreeing with Ayurveda, and how we age depends on how we live throughout our lifetime, which gives more importance to take care of our health and well-being as we go through life, so that we can have longevity and in particular vitality in those years as we age, and to be a productive member of society in those years. And this is something I'm going to talk about in the next episode too, is the wisdom age of life. And in this stage is using that wisdom that we gained in those earlier years and sharing with others. So this is where we get to do what we really enjoy doing, and we get to choose how we want to express ourselves in the world as we age. So hopefully that was beneficial today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And in the next episode, as I said, we'll talk about Rasayana and the wisdom stage of life, which is something I love promoting. And I think we definitely need to change this perception on aging. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you will find all the links that I mentioned in this episode in the show notes. If you think this episode will be helpful to family or friends, please share it with them so we can get this wisdom of Ayurveda out there into the world. And if you would like to rate or review the podcast, I would really appreciate that. Don't forget, I have that discounted group cleanse starting the 2nd of September. If you haven't already joined me on social media, you can check me out on Elements Healing and Wellbeing on Instagram and Facebook. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. And until next time, take good care of yourself, be well, and bye for now. Slán go fóill.